Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to try something new. Now, for a really long time, we've been using this Miller-Matic 135. It's a MIG welder. It does a great job. It's starting to show its age. You know, it's almost as old as me. And we'll be replacing it with another MIG welder, probably pretty soon. But in the meantime, YesWelder contacted us. And they said, hey, DubWerks, we've got a new machine and we were wondering if you wanted to try it out. It's a TIG machine. That sounds cool. Let's see what's in the box. So, from my understanding, TIG welding on a car, on sheet metal, is pretty nice because the welds don't get as hot as a MIG from my understanding, so you don't run as much risk as warpage, and since you're not adding a ton of filler wire, they're pretty flat and they're easy to grind down. But we'll find out when we try to use it, because I'm no expert TIG welder. Was it a box? In a box. It is. Let's get this out. Keep that box. Might need that for something. So it's the TIG 200P AC/DC, which means this machine can do basically everything, from what I understand. Aluminum, stainless, sheet steel. Which is pretty nice. Basically, everything you need to weld. So, in this box, we've got the ground, electrode holder, power adapters, gas hose, and a torch, manual. Here's the machine. Let me get you down here and we'll take a look at it. So before we start looking at the machine, let's check out what's in this box here, and I'm going to run through the owner's manual. Right off the bat, the owner's manual. Good for me. Oh, it looks like they nicely packaged everything. So this will be the torch, grounding clamp, an electrode holder, gas hose, and the 220 to 110 adapter. What do we have? Looks like a kit of things that I don't know what they do yet. And this is just a TIG torch. Nice. Well guys, we got the new YesWelder out of the box and we're going through it. And we've got some familiar things here. We've got the 2T, the 4T. New one is spot because it's a TIG welder. This is your option for regular high frequency TIG. Pulse TIG is number 2. And then stick welding, AC/DC. And these are all your options for how you're going to set this machine up, because this does not include a foot pedal, but it does have the ability. You can get one from YesWelder. So I'll go through that when we start welding. And obviously the one dial adjusts all this. So I'm going to get everything set up. We have a TIG torch, a little set of electrodes, the grounding cable, and the machine does include a gas hose and a stick welding torch if you desire, so you can stick weld with this. And all you need to provide is a gas bottle and a regulator, and it is a different kind of gas than MIG welding. So if you have a MIG welder with a bottle, that will not match. You will not be able to use the MIG gas with this, but you can use the regulator. So I'm going to hook all this up. It's not very complicated. The instructions are very clear. You just for TIG welding, the torch is negative, the ground is positive. Hook the plugs up, and you are basically good to go. Alright guys, so now we're going to be doing a little welding with the TIG welder. Now I'm not going to lie to you, I have practiced a little to get familiar with it. I am not a TIG welder. I do MIG and spot. I do spot welding. It's very easy, anyone can do a spot welder. But I did practice just to see how it all worked. Now for this run, we're going to be using a pedal because YesWelder was kind enough to send a pedal with the machine, because as they advertise, this machine can be either using the torch that has the switch on it or the pedal, and it did automatically detect the pedal when I plugged it in, and you can use the same torch the machine comes with, so there's no need to buy another torch, it just knows. So we've got some 16 gauge here, butt welding it. I'm using 30 thousandths MIG wire and a 1/16 2% lanthanated tungsten. That's the blue tips, and we'll just see how this goes. Should be fine. So I've got this thing set up right now so that with the pedal fully down, it's only 65 amps. I'm still getting used to this, so that's why I've got it set that way. But this is 16 gauge. Now the gapping with TIG welding it has to be really tight, so they're butted right up against each other. With a MIG weld, I would usually leave a little bit of a gap, but that's how you do TIG welding. So you get this thing. I'm going to tack it in a couple spots. Sorry if you shake, you're on the stand. Make sure this is actually going to darken. So this is just MIG wire, because this is kind of thin. Because basically I'm working my way into using thin gauge, like 20 gauge, and 18. This is 16, like I said, which is a little thicker. But I want to be able to work my way up slowly to that, because that's what cars are made out of. And then I'll be able to, you know, do this on cars. But let's just start. Go right on ahead. So we got one hole here. That's where that tack was right off the bat. But as you can see, it looks really nice in my opinion. I'm going to bring you in closer so we can look at this. Alright guys, and here we are with the TIG weld. As you can see, that one hole I was talking about, that was from me tacking. And you can fill that in easily. I'm intrigued. Move the ground. See the backside. That's the big thing with TIG is, well, as you can see, there's barely any material. The thing with the 20 gauge and stuff, like the sheet metal, supposedly you're able to not use any filler rod at all, kind of like a gas weld, the old school way of doing things with the oxyacetylene torch. You'd be able to almost just fuse the two together and use the filler rod just where you have to. And that's kind of what you can do with TIG. And like you can see, this is very flat. And on the back side, looks pretty good to me. Like I said, I'm practicing with this. I'll probably grab a couple pieces of 20 gauge because got a whole thing over there. And I'll show you it. It'll probably be like a little funny montage because that's a big step down from this. I mean, this is thick. Like maybe a truck floor would be made out of this. Like I'm pretty sure this is what the wrecker body is 16 gauge, and like that's thick. A VW I think hovers around 20 gauge. The Plymouth I think hovers around 18, and a new car is probably 22, 24. I mean it's thin. So it's not so much, it's a big learning curve compared to a MIG, because with this, especially with the pedal makes it pretty nice. As I'm learning, you couldn't really do sheet metal without the pedal, because you have to navigate the highs and low, like the amperage. With MIG, it feeds the wire all the time, and I mean, you can blow a hole with a MIG, but you can weld sheet metal, I mean, pretty easily. If you know how to MIG weld, you can do it. This is difficult, actually, and you know, learning it is fun because it's a skill. It's completely different, like the technique, the movement, everything. And it's nice once I hopefully get it down, because that's a lot less grinding. TIG welds are softer, and so, like, you know, you get the warpage because you're going to do long spans, you know, but it'll just hammer right out. It just bounces right back, and then there's nothing to grind. And then you got the penetration on the back side and the front side, which is fantastic, and you're done. So I think I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do that little section there, and maybe grab a chunk and overlap it on here and do an overlap. Then we'll grab some sheet metal. Well, guys, we're going to do this now. This is going to be kind of funny for you, I think. This is 20 gauge, and that's real sheet metal. And like I said, we're still practicing. So I don't think this is going to go as well as the 16 gauge, but, you know, we have to move up sometime. So we've got the exact same 2% lanthanated electrode. I bumped the amps down to 45 at the max. So we're just going to do this. This is 20 gauge, butt welded, same MIG wire. So I mean, we've tacked it. Sheet metal is not my thing yet, as you can see. I mean, it's welded, just a hole. Do this. That's no biggie, because it's just on the flat. It's the getting the gap. Well, guys, that was the steel, and that turned out pretty well in my opinion for the first time doing TIG welding. I'm going to be pretty happy to try it on some other stuff, like on the bus and the rag top that's behind you. I think it'll be pretty good if I can get the panel fitment good. Sometimes, you know, you get a little wide and then the TIG won't work too well there. But now we're going to try it. I have some aluminum. We're going to try that. I also have some stainless. So I wanted to show you that all in one video so you can see it works on mild steel, stainless, and the aluminum. So let me set this up and we'll do some tests on those materials. Alright guys, so we're going to get started here. This is stainless. This is about the best camera angle I can get for you. What I'm going to do is tack these together, hopefully, and then it can't roll away. But this is stainless tube, maybe like an 1/8 inch thick. Our #1 subscriber, Steve, donated these to test with, and we will test. So we're using the foot pedal from YesWelder, and the max amperage I have it set at right now is 80. I don't know where that falls, good or bad, but that's what I've got. So we're just going to go for it using the same tungsten as before. let's fuse together. Do the other side. Now, I've been told that they actually make like fancy pliers to do this. We can't afford that at DubWerks, so we just clamp it with our hands. Okay, so you can see here, probably, I'm going to use this rod. I really don't know the difference between stainless, mild, what works, what doesn't. I don't find a lot of stainless on any vehicle I own, so we're just going to see. And this is tubing, which is also unfamiliar to me. So we'll see. And if you guys shake, I'm sorry for that. You're on the rack as the tripod. So yeah. Let's see. Over the shoulder. Doesn't really work. I mean, I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it'll get the job done. It's the stacking that I don't know how to do. But it's working, and I'm able to do it, which means anyone can do it, because it's rather difficult for me to do most things. See, learning the speed and how to stack them is going to be my problem. Because I feel like I'm putting too much heat in a spot at a time. And it's not stacking, it's just welding, which it works, it just doesn't look as pretty. Let me show you what we did, and you can make fun of me in the comments. Oh, it's been 18 minutes. So here it is. Here's the stainless. As you can see, I'm not able to take advantage of the beautiful, fun color of stainless, but it is welded. It's not bad, I don't think, for the first time using it. How's the... It's still warm, I don't want to touch it. The inside... I think it would hold. You know, I'm not a professional TIG welder. I'm not a professional exhaust builder, but got it done. I'm not unhappy with that. So now, let's try some aluminum. Alright guys, so I'm going to try the aluminum now. These are 2 sheets. I think we're going to not do the tubing with the aluminum because frankly I found the tubing difficult, and aluminum itself is already extremely difficult, so this may or may not go well, but we'll see. I'm only going to try it a couple times because aluminum it's very unlikely that I'll ever actually do it. You never know though. Oh, this will be difficult. This is gonna be hard. try over here real quick. It's like a messy aluminum blob. Let me do a little research real quick. Well guys, obviously the aluminum did not go as I had hoped. Well, I think I said a little aluminum globs. That's all I could get. I did get the metal to stick together eventually, but it did not look like how an aluminum weld should look. So I'm definitely doing something wrong, and there will be a follow-up video with that, because I do know some people that know how to weld aluminum. They know how to TIG weld, so hopefully they can come by, show me how we're doing, what we're doing wrong, how can I fix it. We're also out of gas, so well guys, obviously we did not do too well with the aluminum. I think I said right there at the end that it's like a little aluminum globs. Yeah, that's basically all I was able to do. Towards the end, that you did not see, I did get the two pieces of aluminum to stick together, but it did not look like how aluminum welding should look. So I don't really know what I'm doing wrong, but there will definitely be a follow-up video on the aluminum. I know a few people that do know how to weld aluminum. They know how to TIG weld pretty well. So hopefully they can come by, show me what I'm doing wrong, how I can set this machine up to do aluminum better, because it definitely can do it. It's just me not knowing how to do it. The steel and the stainless turned out pretty well in my opinion. The steel 16 gauge comes out very well every time I do it. So I'm going to move to 20 gauge or 18 gauge now. Just work my way down until I'm more comfortable enough to get it going on a car. Stainless right off the bat I think turned out pretty okay for the first time. I can't think of too many uses where I'll be doing stainless, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But steel and stainless steel are just about the same. So what I learned for regular steel will apply there as well. We're out of gas now, so I'm going to have to get the tank filled, and it's not actually my tank either. It's the #1 subscriber Steve's tank. So I'm going to get that refilled for him and bring it back. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Many thanks to YesWelder for thinking of me and sending me out the TIG welder to try out. I do like it very much, and I'm hoping I can get good enough to use it on the cars, because it definitely would save a lot of grinding time. The material buildup is not there at all. Basically, it's a flat weld, and it's very easy to planish out any warpage. I like it all around. It's just going to be getting it into use, getting into practice with it. But overall, I like it very much, so thank you to them. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me, basically. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Let me know if you know how to TIG weld. Give me some pointers in the comments, because I definitely need them. But until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.